President Trump appears to be looking for a way to wind down the war with Iran. CBS News has exclusively learned Iran has received, quote, points from the U.S. through mediators. Now, yesterday, President Trump backed off his ultimatum for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz, citing productive conversations. We told you that at about this time yesterday. At the time, Tehran denied direct talks have taken place. Mr. Trump then said the two sides had about 15 points of agreement.
They want peace. They've agreed they will not have a nuclear weapon, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll see. You have to get it done. But I would say there's a very good chance.
Marc Caputo joins us now. He's a White House correspondent for Axios and a CBS News contributor. Good morning, Marc. Help our viewers get some clarity here between what's happening with talks between the U.S. and Iran and why there might be mixed messaging coming from both sides.
Well, both sides are engaged in a war, and one of the first casualties of war is the truth. Both sides are also putting out a certain measure of misinformation, so neither side trusts each other as well. It's really unclear. What we can say with a reasonable degree of certainty is that there are mediators, other countries that are carrying messages in between the two. We think there's been some contact, some direct contact, but it hasn't been very significant. The prime chief go-betweens, the countries that are go-betweens, appear to be Pakistan, Turkey, and Qatar.
Now, we're used to President Trump making overarching rhetoric. Over the weekend, he was threatening to obliterate Iran's power plants. Clearly, that was a way of getting closer to a resolution. But why such a dramatic about-face? This time yesterday, he said, never mind, I'll give them another 5 days.
I mean, a light most favorable to President Trump, and whether people want to spot it to him or not is up to them. He claims that there were talks that were productive. At Axios, we did report heading into the weekend that the United States had 5, 6 general points that it wanted to get across, or points they had made at Geneva, and they're ready to discuss them. And then apparently some sort of discussions happened. Trump said that he thought made it suitable, I should say, for him to back off of that threat. His critics say, no, he's just freaked out by the oil markets, and he's doing whatever he can to keep the price of oil as low as possible as it skyrockets in price.
And as we see the president and the White House hinting at potential peace talks with Iran, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Miami today. I know you have some fresh reporting on this. What's relevant there?
His longtime friend, political advisor, former housemate when the two served in the state legislature in Tallahassee, Marco Rubio's friend, David Rivera, former congressman, is tied up in a $50 million alleged scheme to illegally represent Venezuela's then dictator, Nicolas Maduro. Now, Rivera denies the charges, but it's a federal case. It's based out of Miami, and Rubio has to take the stand and testify against his old friend. So while all of this drama is unfolding in Iran, and the Secretary of State is being used by President Trump to help reach out to other countries and assemble a coalition to deal with the fallout of the Iran war, and at the same time that the Secretary of State is managing the transition government in Venezuela, and at the same time that the Secretary of State is planning some sort of Cuba takeover, he has to sit in this federal courtroom and testify against his old friend. It's kind of a mess.
Fascinating. Marc Caputo, great to get your reporting on our air this morning, joining us from Miami. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.